Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, we both have deep faces today.
I know. Yeah, doing great.
That's good. That's good.
Crushing through the week.
Yeah. I slept really good last night. I don't like, I know we say that a lot. It feels like we say that a lot, but like, you know, given our jobs, I feel like we should champion when we get a good night's sleep, you know, because it doesn't always happen.
Right.
Sometimes it's 3 or 4 hours and sometimes it's like 5 spurts of 1 hour. But yeah, that's why I've got the nice deep voice today. I think my brain might just be exhausted from what I was doing yesterday. I realized, and maybe this is something I've noticed that like millennials and younger do. I have a problem, and I noticed it last night when I was prepping for the show today. I'm typing out my notes. I'm putting the stories together and stuff for today. I'm sitting in my office at home, and I have my computer up in front of me. And I'm writing. I have a podcast on that I listen to called "A Hot Dog is a Sandwich." I have Monday Night Football on my laptop to my right, and my phone is in front of me, and I have TikTok open, and I'm scrolling through looking for story ideas. I had 4 digital things going on all at the same time, and somehow I was like comprehending at least 70% of all of it at the same time. Like, do you ever sit there like watch TV and you're on your phone? Like you're paying attention, but you're also on your phone scrolling through like Twitter or Facebook or whatever? Yeah. That was me to the extreme last night.
Right. You were General Grievous of social media.
Like I watched the first quarter of Monday Night Football. I learned about a new plant-based company that makes friggin' ribs out of beets and mushrooms. And I was kind of like resetting my algorithm on TikTok as well and writing for today's show all at once. And I want to give you an example of what I actually wrote last night that made me realize this is the moment I realized that I was doing too much at one time. I was writing about the Globetrotters coming to town in January, which we'll do more on later. But this is a real thing I wrote in the story that I had to go back and fix. Quote, "Truth be told, I've never seen the Globetrotters in person, but on 3rd and Long should be fun to finally see them in person."
You might want to shut one of those down. Third and Long with the Globetrotters on TikTok.
Oh my God. I went back and I read the story and I went, oh, I have a problem. This is not good. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're ever reading one of my stories on the website or the app and you come across some like really odd out of place phrases, if it's sports related, you know, I'm watching sports as I'm writing it. If it's something completely out of left field, I'm probably listening to a podcast of some kind. But yeah, it's probably because I had YouTube on or something. I was scrolling through TikTok while I was writing. Like, I couldn't believe I did that.
Well, stick around for 3 Dog Night tickets on the Assault the Vault on 107.7 RKR on the Rocker Rides.
How many contests can I do at the same time, Mark?
It's time to turn up your dials and tune out the traffic because we're playing the Daily 5 on the Rocker Morning Show. Testing the mental magnitude of your favorite morning monkeys on the radio. And now, your hosts for the Daily 5, Meatball and Mark Frankhouse.
It is the Daily 5 where Mark and I ask each other questions. The other one answers. Today, I'm asking the questions. Mark is answering. Mark, you got some help on the line today from John. Good morning, John. How are you? John, you there?
Oh, good. I'm sorry.
He's just so excited. He's stunned.
Awesome, John. You got to help me get 3 out of 5 questions correct. If you do, we'll take the 2-0 advantage for the week. If not, Meatball, tie this bad boy up at 1 apiece.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. This is geography.
Cool.
Rocky Mountain National Park is located in what state? Is it in Colorado, Alaska, or Wyoming?
I'll say Colorado, but I think maybe Wyoming.
Wyoming, Rocky Mountain
National Park.
Rocky Mountain High there. I'll say Colorado. Maybe that's supposed to be too easy, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Then there's the weird ball, like the weird one out, which is Alaska, which is nowhere near.
Oh, the Rockies go all the way up through Canada into Alaska.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, the Rocky Mountains are in all three of these states.
I don't know. What are you thinking there, John? Do we go with the obvious one or the oddball or Wyoming? Your initial...
Just throw something that sticks. We'll see.
What's that?
Just throw something that sticks. We'll see.
You know what? You originally said Wyoming. Let's shoot for Wyoming. If you're cool with it, final answer.
Good with that, John?
Yes.
All right. Wyoming, final answer. It was Colorado, was the obvious one. So that'll set the tone for the day, I'm sure, right?
Shut up.
Question number 2, this is entertainment. Which one of these movies landed Jack Nicholson his first Academy Award? Was it Chinatown, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, or The Shining?
I want to say One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, I think that was before The Shining. I'm pretty sure that was...
That is correct.
Yeah, let's go... I think you're right on that one. Let's go Cuckoo's Nest. Final answer.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Final answer. That is correct.
All right.
That was his first Oscar.
Go.
Question number 3. Since we got the Globetrotters coming into town in January, I got a sports one for you for them. When was the last time the Globetrotters officially lost a game? So it's on their official record.
Gotcha.
Was it 1971, 1985, or 1995?
Officially lost a game.
Uh-huh.
I know they lost one game, but I think there's a reason for it.
But you got to throw a bone to the Generals every once in a while.
Yeah, right. 75, 85, or 95?
71,
71.
85, 95.
71 was when they're in their prime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would say probably 95.
95? Yeah, I can't. I was thinking the middle ground there, but 95. Yeah, let's...
71 is when you had Curly Neal and Meadowlark Lemon and all those great players.
Yeah.
70s were so great with them.
Yeah.
Get that answer.
I guess we'll go 95.
95?
Yeah.
Going 1995, final answer. It was not a loss to the Generals, but it was to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's All-Stars in...
85.
1995.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
Way to go, John. Killing it, man.
All right. Question number 4. This is technology. What is the best-selling mobile phone of all time? Is it the Nokia 1100, the Motorola Razr, or the iPhone 3G?
Man.
Boy, there's smoke coming out your ears.
I just keep my phone forever till it dies, so I don't ever buy a new one.
Right.
I'm the same way.
The Razr. Man.
Razor sounds like maybe a good choice.
Let me tell you, I had a Razr for a while. That thing was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Loved that phone.
Razr, and then you said the Nokia too, right?
Yeah, the 1100 specifically.
Man. It could be the Nokia. I think it's Nokia or Razr, John.
Well, you decide. I'm good with you.
Let's go Nokia.
Nokia 1100, final answer?
You good with that, John?
Yeah, go for it.
Nokia, final answer.
Nokia, final answer. The brick wins.
Whoa!
Yeah, man.
My gosh.
Oh.
John, holy crap. We took a 2-0 lead. I think we finally broken the spell of not being able to answer questions correctly. And congratulations, man. You got a pair of tickets to see Three Dog Night at the Kalamazoo State Theater.
Thank you very much.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you for your help today.
.1077 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Well, this is fun stuff. The Globetrotters coming back to Kalamazoo in 2025.
Yeah,
Mark.
that's going to be a great one.
Official announcement made yesterday. The 2025 season will see the Harlem Globetrotters return to Wings Event Center in January. Tickets going on sale next week. Pre-sale on Monday, I believe. General public go on sale Friday next week, I believe. I love the Globetrotters so much. I love them. Have you seen them?
I have never seen them before.
You've seen them on like TV though, like you've watched their games on TV and whatnot. Okay,
no doubt.
Yeah.
I love watching them on television. I would really love to watch them in person though. We need to get involved in this somehow.
I got to see them on TV. Like I don't know, Metal Art came back for something. It was all Curly Joe. Like it was a ton of fun. It was a great time watching them on TV. But I have never seen them in person. So this should be fun. The Globetrotters, by the way, fun stuff about them. They had their own cartoons for a while. They've appeared in Futurama, which, they actually have their own planet, in the lore of Futurama. They've been on Scooby-Doo a ton of times. They've had their own movie, in 1981, the Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, which is interesting because they escaped and the shipwreck crew did not. They just stayed there. And did you know, Mark, that there were several NBA legends that played on the Globetrotters?
That's pretty sweet.
You had Willie Gardner, Connie the Hawk Hawkins, Nat Sweetwater Clifton, who I think signed with the NBA after he was with the Globetrotters,
That's
and
funny.
Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain.
Wow.
Yeah, man. They also had their first gold medalist, Lynette Woodard, signed on with them in 1985, which is very cool. So ticketing info up now on the 1077 RKR app and at WRKR.com. Better believe I'm going to be there this time to see them live. However, something I've always wanted to do, Mark.
Yes.
And it's straight out of an episode of How I Met Your Mother, and I don't care because I love this idea. I want to go to a Globetrotters game wearing Washington Generals gear and root for the Generals.
Oh my gosh.
Like yell at the refs for the blatant bad calls, for not catching them, for traveling and goaltending and interference and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to heckle the Globetrotters and the refs, man. What do you think?
You rooted for Johnny Lawrence and the Karate Kid, didn't you?
Listen, okay. Daniel won with an illegal kick to the face in Karate Kid, okay? Yes, Johnny hurt his leg, but it was a warning only, and he didn't get a point for it. Daniel was a bully, and Johnny won that fight, okay?
Okay. You okay? You feel better?
I'll feel better when I see the Globetrotters. 1077 RKR. It is the Rock and Morning Show with Meatball. Mark Frankhouse on the line today. He's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame legend. He has more than 90 albums credited to his name. He was a keyboard player for Yes in 5 different stints, and the man is an absolute legend. Please welcome to the Rock and Morning Show, the one, the only, Rick Wakeman. Pleasure to have you on today, sir.
Really kind. Thank you so much.
This is a huge deal because you have been in bands and touring for more than 50 years. You've been a member of some legendary groups, played with some of the biggest rock bands and names in rock history. Some might say this is the end of an era in rock and roll with you officially coming off the road, Rick.
Well, I'm coming off stopping the one-man shows. I still want to keep playing and work with, my own band and with other musicians. It's just, I've got lots of projects and things that I want to do over the years, and there's just not enough time, so something had to give. And I thought, well, I've been doing the one-man show for so many years now, way back into the 1900s, and I thought, right, I've sort of pretty much exhausted it as to what I can do with it. So it's time to retire it and get on to other stuff. So it is the last of the one-man shows. So anybody who comes to this leg and they're looking like adding another leg because this one they can't fit everything in, but these will be the last. Whatever town it comes to, that'll be the last time of the one-man shows.
What was the mindset when you started developing this tour? You said you've done pretty much everything you can with the show, but you are still kind of, putting together some fun stuff for this particular one. What's the ultimate message you want to get out with this final solo tour around the U.S.?
It's just very much. I'd like to think that people can go through a wave of many different emotions, because I think that's what a concert should be. But at the end of the day, I'd like that people go away with a smile on their face. That's what's important. I want people to go away happy. I'm not a doom and gloom person. So you want people to go away, as I say, happy, few memories, and maybe during the show have a few old memories jerked and reminded. It should be a bit of a journey, which would be nice.
Well, you have had just an incredible career. You've worked with, rock and roll icons. You worked with David Bowie on Space Oddity. Did you work directly with him on that, or were you just kind of studio adjacent? What was that experience like?
I suppose, obviously, I was brought in to specifically play the mellotron because they'd had people in to play who couldn't keep it in tune, and there was Tony Visconti who recommended to Gus Dudgeon and to David. They sort of got me in, so I came and did that. Became very good friends with David. He'd heard my piano playing and said, "Come on, I want you to do some piano on some of my stuff." So I did. On another day, I did Wild Eyed Boy from Free Cloud, Memory of a Free Festival, and then did the Hunky Dory album with him and Life on Mars and all of that. And I had, with all the piano pieces, I definitely had some freedom because David would give his musicians freedom to interpret his music as they wanted to.
Yeah.
So it was great. So I had a complete free reign on Hunky Dory and things, which was great.
Man. And in addition to, working with, David Bowie and all these other rock stars, you have, more than 90 album credits to just your name, which is just insane for somebody to write and compose so much music. Is there ever a quiet moment in your brain at all?
No. It refuses point blank to go to sleep. And as my wife says, the time to start worrying is if it won't go to sleep.
Right.
If you or if you won't keep thinking of ideas and thinking of things. No, I think that's the joy about music. You never stop.
Right. Well, you're definitely not stopping. You're going out on this second leg of your solo tour, your solo farewell tour. You can get tickets now, rwcc.com. And we do have some dates in our area, like day trips down to Kent, Ohio. And I believe October 15th, you're going to be at St. Charles, Illinois. And, like you said, last chance to catch you on the road doing the solo show. And it's something special. And we can't wait for it. Rick, thank you so much for 5 decades of your music and your time today, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That's very kind. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Stay safe on the road, Rick, all right?
Cheers, thank you.
Had an awesome long talk with Rick Wakeman. He's got something very special that he plays just for the Yes fans in his show that I think is very, very cool. We talk about that on the longer form of this podcast. You can check it out now on the Rocker Morning Show podcast, WRKR.com, also on demand on the 107.7 RKR app.
107.7 RKR. It's the Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
I had no idea that modern highway guardrails were something that was invented in Michigan. Meatball, have you ever heard of the GM Proving Grounds?
Not specifically, but I know kind of what they are. I know Ford has theirs too as well.
Yeah.
Most of the dealerships do, but like I'm assuming it's in Michigan somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's in Milford. When I was doing appliance maintenance, I used to drive around all over from like east to west. Mm-hmm. And the guy I was working with, we would always drive by the proving grounds and he would hype it up. And I never really knew what took place there exactly.
That's where like they just push everything to the extreme on all the vehicles, right?
Yeah. So this is a really unique stretch of land in Milford, and we've actually got a feature of this up on the 107.7 RKR app as well that you could check out. It has 147 miles of test track and includes a road course that mimics parts of Nürburgring. That's the famous track in Germany.
Oh, okay.
It's a 2-mile replica brick road out there, nearly like 80-acre asphalt pad. There's only about 100 employees that are licensed to drive at top speeds on the tracks, and modern highway guardrails were also invented there.
The guardrails were... Oh.
So this was pretty wild. So the guardrails that you see on the highways, those metal, like kind of arched and curved guardrails, those were conceptualized at the GM Proving Grounds.
That's interesting. Okay.
Which kind of makes sense. If you're going those, top speeds, you want to try to come up with some kind of, rail design that's going to best protect you. And so that's where modern highway guardrails were invented. Basically.
Do you know when that happened? Like when they invented the guardrails?
I do not know.
Can you imagine like before they would do like crash dummies and have like robotics, the ability to drive those cars and stuff, being the guy who had to test the guardrail in a car, be like, all right, so here's the deal.
They would have to put that in a dummy.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Maybe kill yourself.
Hey, Joe, come here, Joe. Sit real quick. Hey, real quick. We want you to take this car like 70 mile an hour and deliberately crash into the wall.
Yeah. No, that is a test dummy. It's like,
how do you drive it though? You know?
Yeah, that's definitely a test dummy job right there. But you can check all of this out on the 107.7 RKR app. But I know there's at least 10 people listening right now that have been there or know someone who works there. So if you're one of those people, give us a call, 978-1077. I've never been inside. I would love to know more about this place.
You know, there's one vehicle I think that I would love to see out there, as crazy as it sounds, and a local celebrity. Do you think we need to get the big banana car out there?
Yes. Okay, the GM Proving Grounds, that is where we need to test all food-based potential automobiles in the future.
107.7 RKR, it is the Rocket Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
A little 2 for Tuesday there from the doors. Mark, there is something very cool, an awesome opportunity to learn how to be a rock star from an actual rock star at the University of Michigan right now.
Really?
Chris Vrenna. Is the name familiar to you at all?
Yeah, big time.
He was a founding member of Nine Inch Nails. He was the drummer, and now he is a professor of music technology at Michigan.
That is super cool.
So a little bit about him. He wasn't just with Nine Inch Nails. He played and toured with them initially, I think, through their first 2 full albums, maybe.
Okay.
And then he's also toured and played with Marilyn Manson, Stabbing Westward, and a band called the Exotic Birds that's out there. He has also been a producer, a remixer, and production guy for albums by U2, Smashing Pumpkins, Megadeth, Rammstein, Metallica, David Bowie, Green Day. Like,
wow,
this dude is an actual huge rock star. And now he's teaching as an assistant professor at the University of Michigan.
Man, that's wild. So I got to imagine I never knew too much. I knew about Trent Reznor. I didn't really know too much about the guys touring in his band, although they sounded great. So this guy obviously has to be educated in the ways of like classical music, I would imagine.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, it's not necessarily like a classical thing because he's teaching more music technology. So you think about some of the stuff that they do in Nine Inch Nails with the tools at hand, you know?
Yeah.
Because that band got started in the late 80s, early 90s when a lot of electronics are being introduced into music as tools rather than, like a Pro Tool situation where you were just adding effects and decay and whatnot to snare drums and stuff. Like they were actually using sampling machines and things like that. So like he actually understands the technology that goes into creating music. Mm-hmm. And so now he's teaching courses basically on how to use certain technology to create music. And different methods and understanding and the different tools and stuff that you would use. It's
That's
pretty
rad.
Cool. He's kind of a perfect fit actually for Michigan because his dad was an alumni, from the University of Michigan. So he said he was stoked to move to Ann Arbor. He's originally from Erie, Pennsylvania. He based his performance career out of Chicago. So he's a Midwest Great Lakes guy, knows the area. If you are interested in what classes to sign up for him, we've got it up on the 107.7 RKR app and at WRKR.com. But I think he is actually one of like 3 assistant professors that teaches this course.
Really?
So it might just be a luck of the draw thing to get into his class. I'd be distracted the whole time.
I say we should try to reach out and see if we can talk to this dude.
Oh man, that would be very cool. I might reach out to the University of Michigan, see if we can talk to him. I know they're in the middle of the fall semester right now. And football season started, so everybody at University of Michigan is distracted right now.
Right.
But yeah, no offense to my professors in college, like my music professors in college, or even my own parents, who are both, my band directors in school. But like, if you put me in a room with a rock star, like an actual rock star, especially now, given my trajectory in my career.
Yeah.
I, would not be able to focus at all. No. With this guy in the room, like I would just stare at him like I'm taking notes. And I would just hear Pretty Hate Machine on repeat in my head. It would just be that and empty space in there.
Mm. So what you're saying is you'd have a head like a hole. Pretty accurate.
2 for Tuesday, a couple from Stone Temple Pilots there. 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocket Morning Show with Meatball.
Hey, Mark Frankhouse.
Remember about a year ago, Mark, REO Speedwagon came to Kalamazoo, put on an awesome show there at Wings Event Center. Were you at that show?
Yes. Yeah, we were there. We were at that one.
Yeah. awesome show. REO always puts on an awesome show, but that may not happen anymore. REO Speedwagon has announced, and you can read this now on the 107.7 RKR app, an abrupt halt to touring, citing, quote, irreconcilable differences. The disagreement apparently revolves around a delayed return to the stage for bassist Bruce Hall.
Man, so it's unfortunate they couldn't ride the storm out on that one.
Yeah, right. Apparently last November, Kevin Cronin promised to reunite with Hall as soon as possible following his back surgery, but this never happened. And this is a quote, I believe, an official statement from the band. Bruce has intended to be back on the road again by now. If it were up to just him, he'd be back on tour, but it's not up to just him. The consensus opinion was that he had not recovered sufficiently to be able to perform at the level the fans have come to expect.
I know you don't want to let him go, but what can you do with the guy's recovering,
In Hall's absence, Cronin became... Cronin is officially the last remaining touring member from their classic era. Co-founding keyboardist Neil Doughty left the road in 2023, while the other members joined in the late 80s. Matt Bissonette, former Elton John sideman, filled in for Hall through their summer dates. I believe that's who we saw last year, but I don't remember.
They were just rolling with the changes. That's all you can do in that situation, But if it's time for him to fly, I guess the only time you're going to be seeing REO Speedwagon, I guess, is in my dreams. So
the final REO show ended up being September 8th at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. However, after Cronin fell ill, what might happen next then became the topic of conversation among family, friends, and the band. So, they're still discussing on what's going on there.
Man. Well, listen, they've always showed a lot of passion for the fans. They're going to keep on loving you regardless, but I can't fight this feeling that we may never see them again.
How many more of those do you have queued up?
I'm going to take it on the run, and I'll figure it out from there.